think that translates into a lot of throws. But hopefully I can hit those ones down the field. Those are big ones because they change the whole field position. They change, if you throw a 50-yarder, it's 5 first downs. So it shows up on the stat sheet a little differently, but the production is great when you're able to kind of hit those home run balls.
Tom, you have kids of your own. How would you respond if your kids heard Donald Trump's version of locker room talk?
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
So Tom Brady was happy to support his friend and golf buddy Donald Trump when it was simply a matter of placing "Make America Great Again," that hat in his locker room for everyone to see. But as you can see, Brady wanted nothing to do with the topic when asked about Trump yesterday. Stephen A., is Brady getting a pass for his support of Trump?
He absolutely is. And let me say this. I am not in any way getting involved in all of this other stuff. I don't blame the average Joe out there in the world of sports, unless you're a political aficionado. This is one of those situations where everybody should just stay away from it. It's so polarizing. It's so divisive that I don't blame anybody. I mean, me, I don't run from anything. I'm not scared at all to talk politics or anything like that. But with this particular election, boy, I want no parts of it. Because it's just so divisive. It's crazy right now. And that is that. But here's why I bring up the subject as it pertains to Tom Brady. It's not just the hat. If you recall, he was on WEEI's, the Dennis and Callahan show. I've been a guest on that show many times. They're fabulous guys. They do a great, great job on that station overall all day as far as I'm concerned. But listen to what Tom Brady said in December of last year. He said, guys, can I just stay out of this debate? Donald is a good friend of mine. I have known him for a long time. I support all of my friends. That is what I have to say. This is what Tom Brady said. Now, we live in an age where, I'm going to go here, we've got young star athletes, many of whom happen to be African American, that are not necessarily involved with the political process, don't really intend to get involved. President Obama's ascension in the political ranks obviously compelled African Americans to get involved because he's the first African American president in the history of this country. And it's incredible. It's an incredible level of pride and a badge of honor that we as black people get to look at as such an incredible role model in terms of who he is and what he stands for. And we appreciate that without getting into all of the politics. That's what you see from young African Americans getting involved. But no matter what the situation is, people would ask young African Americans, what do you feel about this? What do you feel about that? It doesn't have to be a political figure. It could be a friend that got in trouble. It could be a friend that's on the wrong side of the tracks, a friend that said something that was divisive or incendiary or whatever the case may be. And young men in their 20s who happen to be black that might not be privy to a lot of things are thrusted into the spotlight because the cameras are flashing in front of their face with the microphones and you want to know what they got to say. I haven't heard any questions to Tom Brady. That's the first time I've heard anybody asking Tom Brady about Donald Trump in months. Now, I know he was suspended the first 4 games. Wasn't he playing in the preseason? Wasn't he available at that particular time over the summer? Didn't you have opportunities while this Republican presidential nominee, who in some people's eyes, a lot of folks have no problem with, others have some problems with him, particularly over the last week, while others have always had a problem with him on the liberal side. Nevertheless, because of the positions that he has taken, because he has been front and center, because he is a magnet for the news, headlines, and whatever, how does arguably the greatest quarterback of this generation, who is a 4-time Super Bowl champion, a surefire first ballot future Hall of Famer, all right, and the face of the NFL as far as I'm concerned at this particular juncture, how in the hell have we not heard people berating Tom Brady with questions about Donald Trump? Because I assure you, if there was a candidate, if Hillary was like Donald Trump and LeBron spoke favorably about Hillary Clinton, I promise you we would berate him with questions. So how is it that Tom Brady got a pass? I think there's a double standard that's existing in America. I'm not talking about whatever position you take. I'm not saying you should take one position or the other. I'm attacking the fact that Tom Brady has, it appears, he has not been bombarded with the inquisition, the questions that undoubtedly would have come in the direction of young African-American athletes. Why hasn't Tom Brady been subjected to the same thing? I'd like to know the answer to that question, Max.
Two words, I think, primarily: Deflategate. I think that has acted as an unwitting, as an unintended consequences of Deflategate. Is that has been what's been foremost on everyone's mind about Tom Brady, and so he's escaped the kind of questions that he got about Trump very recently. But yes, he's gotten a pass from that, and also as the campaigns have gone on, more behavior has been seen from both candidates, and people make judgments about that. And if you say outlandish things and things from your past start to come to light, then previous support for a certain candidate will result in questions asked. Now, I'm sympathetic to those who say, look, I have a personal loyalty to someone that in my own worldview supersedes other information I know about them. And that's the way we're wired as human beings, by the way. I think in terms of our interpersonal relationships, we value them more and make more of our judgments about people based on our interactions with them than kind of just the abstract knowledge of other stuff about them. So I am kind of sympathetic to that view. But regarding what you said earlier, I don't feel that way, that people should stay out of it because in this election, because it's political, and in the past it would have been okay. In fact, I think more than ever now, I disagree with editorial policies in the media that say there has to be a veneer of, not a veneer, actual kind of false equivalencies with candidates because there's neutrality. We have to stay neutral. Even as information comes out about which most reasonable people would have very strong judgments. The fact that the media is bending over backwards to attempt to remain so neutral, I think, is a damaging thing. Nevertheless, I will respect that policy here right now and limit this just to Tom Brady. If you lend your considerable celebrity to someone's cause, whether for personal reasons because you know them or political, a feeling that you're like-minded politically, then you should expect questions about that allegiance when behavior comes out from that candidate, when there are reports about that candidate's past and audio existing, that maybe it's a person that you shouldn't be supporting. You should answer those questions.
You should answer those questions, but more importantly, to our point about the purposes of this debate, you should be bombarded with the questions.
Well, it just started. I'll bet you'll be bombarded now.
What I'm saying is he needs to be bombarded because here's the deal. If this were LeBron James or anybody else, if this was one of these marquee black athletes, it don't even have to be a political figure, man. And you know, they folks, it's about guilt by association. That's how they try to come at you. Well, how could, like, for example, just hypothetically speaking, based on what happened this weekend, you know, and what Donald Trump had to explain during the debates. Let's just do that for a second. If it was a guy, if it was one of these athletes, particularly one of these African-American athletes, they would have went like this. Is that the kind of stuff that y'all talked about when y'all were together? How do you feel about that? Why is that your friend? I mean, how come you haven't condemned him?
But this is the first time they've had access to Brady.
Keep in mind one thing, they had that loophole, remember? So media couldn't talk to him prior to Sunday.
The first time they had access, they asked him.
Ladies, listen up.
Ladies.
Him. Lady. Him. What I'm saying is this. Here's what I'm saying. When you talk about that, I'm not saying this weekend per se. This election has been going on for months. Yeah. And there have been quite a few things that at least some folks have had a problem with when it comes to one particular candidate.
Haven't had access to Brady.
Wait a minute.
They just got access to him.
You had access to him this summer. There were plenty of times you've had opportunities to ask this man questions. All I'm saying is this. Again, I'm not knocking Tom Brady. I'm not knocking, I'm knocking the media from the perspective of you need to bombard him with questions because if this were a black athlete, it doesn't even have to be a political candidate. It could be a friend. and you would have been all over him. Is that the kind of people you associate with? Is that the kind of stuff y'all talk about?
And what I'm saying to you is whether or not, and I do think that race, it's impossible to know how much race plays in, but I always assume, based on the history of our country, that it plays some role. In fact, look at this election and how it breaks down along racial lines, including in NFL locker rooms, by the way, maybe especially in NFL locker rooms.
In this particular
the numbers are shocking, but what I'm telling you is the press hasn't had access to Brady. They have it now. And my prediction is he will be bombarded to the point where the NFL and the Patriots are going to have to do something about it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there access to Brady Sunday?
No.
None whatsoever.
No, remember we debated
it was
the
Sunday.
loophole.
It was Sunday. No, I'm saying that was coming into the game. I didn't know if that was the case post game after they played the Browns.
Post game, 100%
okay, so
access.
let me ask you this question. There was 100% access after they beat the Browns, right? Correct?
Of course.
When was the presidential debate? It was Sunday night.
Yeah.
You played Sunday afternoon. And wait a minute, you got all of this news coming out. I've seen it.
What do you think's going to happen?
I have seen it. There is no way that LeBron James or Melo or CP3, Richard Sherman or whoever you are, there is no way that a story of that magnitude is out, and they would not have been bombarded with questions immediately after that game on Sunday, especially since the debate was that night.
Let's say race was the determining factor there in terms of the timing, at the earliest possible moment that one would be asked a question or not. Mm-hmm. In that case, and let's say I can see, okay, fine, that existed. That is going to help Tom Brady, as it turns out, by one press conference. He got out of the one after the Browns. Maybe race played a factor, if that's your argument. He got hit at the next press conference, and my contention is now he will get bombarded at every press conference and any media access to the point where the Patriots, Tom Brady's own people, and the NFL is going to have to do something about it.
That's fine, but again, that's not the point. The point is, had that been most others, you would have been all over them, bombarding them with. I'm not blaming Tom Brady for this. Tom Brady didn't do anything wrong here. I am simply saying, not anything wrong. I'm just saying the point is, in this particular situation, him walking away from the press conference, that wouldn't have been acceptable. You would have had to answer. You would have had to answer. Others would have. Why can't Tom Brady? And I'm not just talking about black folks. It could be white folks, too. They would not have had to. Why is Tom Brady getting a pass in terms of being bombarded with the questions? Where's the Inquisition? Where's him having to stand up and answer and illuminate his relationship with Donald Trump?
And the criticism of him walking away from those questions. He deserves criticism.
Good with it.
We will leave it there. Carmelo Anthony ranked as the 15th best player in the NBA, and he isn't happy about it. The guys will react after the break. Stephen A. just mentioned the time is now, people. The first Take Your Take viewer contest is here. You can win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national television. So here's how it's going to work. We'll pick two winners and fly you to ESPN headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. All you have to do is go to firstTakeYourTake.com. Be sure to read and follow all the rules for your chance to win. Then upload a 1-minute video with your best original sports debate. Please keep it clean. Plus, no music, team logos, trademarks, or copyrighted material. We just want you to be yourself on camera, impress us, shine. Winners will be announced November 23rd by our show staff. So get busy. We could see you guys right here at the debate desk debating these two.
I also want to emphasize what they need to do is also, while you're doing this, you're watching. I don't want a debate. I don't want to hear a debate from a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever. Watch the show. And while you're watching the show that day, send in your video, be ready to go. It has to be fresh. And I will be watching, and I will be judging, because a whole bunch of people out there chirping all the damn time. And usually folks in opposition don't give folks an opportunity to come and debate. You want to be in the hot seat. This is something that, you know me, I've been talking about this all summer long. Finally, it's official and it's happening. I would like to say I can't wait. I know people out there feel that way. Ahead of time, my condolences to what's going to happen to the winner that has to end up here. My condolences.
I see what's happening here.
What?
You see, before Muhammad Ali came around, everyone was scared of Sonny Liston or George Foreman. Just because I make it look easy, it's not going to be easy for you. He's hard to debate. Yes, I know you see me do it, so you think his aura of invincibility has been stripped. But the man is an excellent debater. That's all I'm telling
What
you.
if he
And
gets-
me, I know you don't have any shot against me.
What if you get
You know that
schooled on
already.
national
You just figured
TV?
maybe I could beat Stephen
What
A.
if someone just comes out here and owns you right on national TV?
That is impossible.
Really?
It's impossible.
He says it's impossible.
There's
That's a
nobody
challenge
that's going to come on
that our
First
First
Take
fam's gonna
and
rise up
school
to.
me. First of all, I'm still waiting for him to win a debate. There's nobody that's going to come on national TV and school me. Listen,
see it.
we're going to take. Listen, I mean, listen. So many people. I mean, even on my Facebook page, I had over 1 million people reach out talking about when does this start? When does this start? Literally over 1 million people. I'm telling you right now, there is nobody. I repeat, nobody that's gonna come on national TV and sit up here and smoke me. I promise you
Could you
that.
imagine
I'm
the
not
headline?
even concerned.
I have faith in you all.
I'm not even
We shall see.
concerned.
But
Not
before
even
we get to our
concerned.
first topic, again, I want to say thank you for this idea, Stephen A. This is great, and it's going to be awesome for
I'm
our
looking
fans.
forward to it. I'm looking
I
forward.
am
So
too.
many people talking.
I can't
so
wait
many
to
people
meet these
gonna have
people.
a male and a female winner. We're gonna
Love
do it.
it.
Let's do
Public
it.
humiliation. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Well, they brought it on themselves.